Nice, champ. That's how you call getting down. That's getting down.
Breaking hook, short, nice and short, nice and sharp. Nice and sharp.
Ooh. Following back with that jab.
I told you. Good job.
You down
I told you.
You got the best feet in the business, champ. Keep using. There you go. Keep using the feet, champ. You got it. There you go. Hey.
Good job. 69. Great.
Good work.
Great. And he was fidgety. You still had it up at 69. You turned it up. He tried to slow it down.
This is what you guys are heading towards when it comes down to one of the first mega fights this year in the lower weight classes is Devin Haney and versus King Ryan Garcia. And today what we're going to do is shed some light on what you see going across the bottom of the screen is the intricacy of the extreme weight cut by the athletes. So with that being said, I'm going to give you guys really a deep dive into what goes into this kind of thing when you don't understand how to measure the metrics of a body and how you should keep it closest to your avatar so that you won't go through these extreme experiences. And they're not good. And I'm going to share it with you. And the reason why I say it is because a lot of people, they don't truly understand the worst part of camp is the weight cut. When you get in there and it starts to really impede on your lifestyle and who you are as a human being, and you start to question your actual existence. You know, anyone who's never experienced extreme weight cut or extreme fasting, you just truly don't understand. But I'm going to give you some in-depth behind the scenes, and you're going to hear from several different people about it. One being Ryan Garcia, two being Mauricio Suleiman, WBC president. And the reason why I thought that this conversation was really unique and needs to have light shed on it is because athletes are nearly dying during this process. So I do want you guys to continue to understand that education is king. You can try to duck it, but you don't want to do that. You want to learn how to move through your career. And if you have a fighter you're working with, you want to make sure that they understand that there are only 3 reasons why fighters lose fights. And number 2 is lifestyle. So we're going to make sure that you guys get the education that will help you prevent these things from happening and maybe missing out on $1 million payday because you don't have the wherewithal to lose the weight. So, but before we get started, I'd like to introduce myself. For those of you who are new to the channel, shame on you. You're kind of late to the dance, but my name is Eric A. Bradley, coach that is. And the experience that I have has brought me to this point. So many championship experiences. And I got the opportunity to learn from Hall of Famers, MERS, plural. And it helped me. And I'm just by nature, I'm a giver. I'm a person who likes to make sure that I can equip other people. Even since when I was a child, I did it. And 40 plus title fights. And I think I'm positive it's closer to 60, but I don't even, the past 10 years, I don't even count. But the thing is, you knowing that you have a place that's you can come to where you have experience, and we're going to make sure that you know what it takes to get to the level of the sport, and you can transfer that in any walk of your life. And I've gotten the opportunity to write over 30 books. So if you really love boxing and you really love learning and you love having the process directly in front of you, continue to follow for more and learn boxing for real. Special shouts out to the people who pay the lights. Jab Juice Consultant is our sponsor. There's lights, there's cameras, there's action, there's experiences around here and things that we use that wouldn't be possible if we did not have money to use to do this. So we do know it's fun to experience for yourself, but it does take a commitment. You have to be committed to do this kind of thing. But when the outcome is going to shed light on the sport of boxing from the inside out, that's what I'm here to do. And so hopefully you guys enjoy this. Once again, thanks again to Jab Juice, who takes the most simple scenarios, people who are in the fight business, and really gives them the understanding on how to move through the echelon of this sport so that you can make a career, not just use boxing as a hustle, but learn how to get opportunities, learn how to monetize your career, be valuable to the industry, and learn how to give back so that you can multiply what's coming into you. So hopefully that gives you kind of like a broad brush of what Jab Juice Consulting Agency does, representing the fight industry from top to bottom, from fighters to gym owners to management who are in a position that they're trying to elevate and expand, but they just don't understand how to utilize social media. And someone who's doing over 50,000 new followers every single month, I know a little bit about social media. So let's get into the show and let's discuss what really makes a fighter do this when they don't really stick to the law. So what we're going to do is we're going to hear from Ryan Garcia. And so Ryan Garcia was speaking directly to a weight cut experience. So take a moment and listen. And then when I come back, I'm going to elaborate. And if you have questions, make sure you leave them down in the comment boxes. And if you're on Instagram, it's a better chance that you would get your answer, your question looked at if you DM us. All right. So,
bro, because I was so done. I was like, whatever. He goes like this. He goes, ESPN Prospect of the Year, and I'm about to die in a shit. Bro, I really thought, I was like, I'm dead. It's cool. I'm dead.
Yeah, cutting weight at your size too, man. Like, there's really not much there to cut weight, but I guess.
I mean, there was this, man, you should we even tell him these stories? like people would say, like, is Ryan okay still? Like, I literally one time was cutting weight from 150 to 130. And mind you, 130 is like nothing, right? And I'm like, I'm barely walking at one point. Like, I try to run and I just completely go to walking because I'm so like I'm just out of it. And I'm living off of 1 grape a day and 8 ounces of protein shake. That's it. That's all I have all day, mind you, and I'm still training. So I'm fucking kind of losing it a little bit. Let's go to a hike. I'm like, fuck it, let's do a hike. I'm already losing it. So I'm like, I want something new. Bro, she ends up getting us lost. Bro, I'm in the wilderness by myself, and I can't drink water because I'll gain too much weight. And I'm like, Scott, I'm dying right now.
I gotta keep him alive, and I'm like, I'm fucking seeing double two right now. And we're like keeling over. And the funniest part was we finally found a bush or something, and we're in the desert, and we found shade somewhere. Unless that was imaginary, but we found shade somewhere, and then Ryan just sits down, and all of a sudden he goes, "Oh, what the?" And I went, "What?" And I looked at him. He moves. He sat right next to this big ass like mountain lion shit or something.
Oh my God! I
didn't even notice it. Like,
and I didn't care, bro, because I was so done. I was like, whatever.
He goes like this. He goes, ESPN Prospect of the Year, and I'm about to die in a shit.
See, you have to laugh to keep from crying whenever you're in that situation. And thanks to those who left comments. We're going to address a couple of the comments. And for those of you who we don't get an opportunity to get to, still leave your comment, because we're going to pick 3 people to give a $15,000 sponsorship to. So we want to make sure that we give back to the industry in a way that those of you who don't truly have that respite, or you're driven and you know you're going to impact the industry, make sure when you leave a comment that you come back and check it later, just in case, because you may be one of the 3 that we choose for a sponsorship into our school, which is absolutely lights out. So now, as we address this conversation that Ryan Garcia was letting you all know, I don't want you guys to laugh, because those guys are in serious pain. I've gotten the opportunity to induce 11-pound weight loss in one evening. And when you've had that kind of an experience, Now we truly, and I was operating as an advisor, along as a couple of other different positions for this individual, but it was an ESPN fight, and he was out in California at Freddie Roach's gym over at Wild Card. Special shouts out to those guys. We've done business with them for at least, I don't know, 10 years of that tenure. But what happened was he needed to make this weight. He's a tall kid, very great boxer. And we had a relationship that I got you. I'm the big uncle of the situation. I take care of my guys, and I understood how to do these kind of things. So, we undressed his body of 11 pounds in one night, made the weight, got a B12 shot. It's a lot of things that you guys who are from the outside or on the lower levels and don't understand that it's required. And when we explain these things, I want you to really take notes, because you're going to realize if you listen to my show every day, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, if you're watching this show every day, you're learning a lot of things that you may not have been familiar with. And for those of you who are, it's just levels to it. And I want everybody to realize how much boxing actually has when it comes down to the ingredients of it. And so, like I said before, I'm going to start now going into the questions, because there are just different layers to the body. You're talking muscle, you're talking cellular level, you're talking the dexterity. The more dense the bones get, the heavier they get. That's why as you get older, it's harder to lose weight. So you must know that projection matters. Last Thursday, there was a episode. No, maybe Thursday, last week, based on how you should train every athlete based on their age. It's a show, and it really matters. So I'd go back. There's a, you'll notice it. It'll be athletes, and if you guys really care about the sport, and whether you're in mixed martial arts or boxing, it doesn't matter what sport you're in. If you got to manage your weight, you got to manage your weight. You just don't want to go to these extremes. So I'm going to answer a question. Here's from my guy Joe. So Joe said, I was a college wrestler and longtime Golden Gloves boxer. I cut weight pretty hard in both. You can get away with it with weight cuts in wrestling, but in boxing, it's what is this? Where is it? In striking sports, you cannot take punches after cutting weight. I love that. After crash cutting. Joe, man, I don't know. This is the first time me ever seeing your name, but I'm going to tell you right now, you can expect to get a scholarship, because see, I understand you, and you understand things. And when you are striking, and see, I wrestled as a youth, so I know how tough wrestling is. And then I coached wrestlers, and I said it. I got a post out here that's telling you the best fighter, total fighter. If you teach a wrestling boxer, if you teach a wrestler boxing, look at Habib Nurmagomedov. I'm gonna show you something. If Habib would have continued to fight, hold on one second. Speaking of Habib, this is Habib Nurmagomedov's lawyer. We'll send you a couple of videos. He's rocking the school of boxing. There you go.
That's it. So how many we have? 6 or 7?
One for every day. You see what I'm saying?
Let's get a picture. All right. Okay.
Yeah, good guy. Habib's lawyer is doing major things down in Miami, doing billion-dollar deals. Tremendous individual. On top of his game, Ed, special shouts out to you, guy. And I'm telling you, one of the things that when you got a wrestler that can box, that you teach to box, you look at how he fought Conor McGregor. He dropped Conor McGregor, and everybody thought Conor McGregor would be a better boxer, but a wrestler over the course of years, then gets to a place, even DC. Daniel Cormier was throwing hands with John Jones the last time. He was throwing hands. I was impressed. And is a striker a boxer? No, but you got to give credit where the credit is due, because it's tough to do that. It's tough to get out of your nature. When you wrestle, that's your nature, And Bo Nichols, we saw him down here, out here on the water months ago. And, once again, another wrestler that's learning to strike, and that could be a problem. When you put a wrestler in there and you teach him how to strike too, one thing that you know about a wrestler, he's already used to the grueling grind of combat and the kind of kilojoules that your body expels when you wrestle. Whew, man, it's real. It's truly real, and it's humbling. And so if you want to get humble, box or wrestle. Let me see. Let me take another question. Thanks again with Joe. Appreciate you, brother. Let me see another one. Coach Haraber out here in Australia says, "Good day, Coach, my man. The knowledge you receive in the school of boxing is amazing. For this day, for this I say thank you. You're so welcome, brother. We appreciate you. And I'm glad that you're doing your thing. And just always remember, be patient, because boxing is a game of chess. It's not checkers. It's a life thing. And I said, if you play it right and you honor the sport, then what you'll find is that it's going to pay you in so many ways. And no one is in fighting when you're a trainer for money. It's not. It's you just love the sport, and you get to do this as a service to the industry. Hence is why you see me constantly serving, and I sell. I make sure that you guys know that we have a problem solver for you, because I know how tough it is to get information, especially when it's coming at you left and right all over social media. You don't understand where you can actually get fed. In Master Boxing, we're going to make sure you get fed all the way. And I'm going to give you all my 4 decades of knowledge, plus the 134 that's tied to this lineage. We have 30 books. We also have a university online to guide you. We have our own app. And when you have these things at your disposal, it just makes you 100% better than you were. So if you were a 70%, as far as with your knowledge, experience, and all of that, and let's just say you're a 7 out of 10, now you're going to be 14 out of 10. It really is going to quadruple how great you are. And so that's why we tell you, type skills, type school, type champion, course. It doesn't matter. We're going to sell, because I know that's serving. And just like this show, it takes a lot to put these things on. But I know you need the information for a reason. And if I'm going to do it, I got to do it right. Damn it. I can't half step. So I commit. That's why you have a complete show. I don't play. And I definitely don't play boxing. Let's take a look at that clip that we were actually going to go into a minute ago with my guy. I wanted you guys to understand the importance of weight cutting and understanding how to do it. So with that being said, I'm going to show you a little 30-second video of Charles Oliveira in the UFC, Conor McGregor, and I want you to take a look at the end of this video. It's going to be very interesting, and then we'll get to Mauricio Suleiman. Conor McGregor, the most tested fighter to date. 2024. It's April the 4th, and he's been tested 5 times. And Alex got 2 in, and Charles, this is Charles Oliveira. That's what a weight cut looks like, people. When you're not fighting at the right weight, or you're not going up in weight the way you need to, this is what it looks like. He did all of this, and I mean, there are videos of Cyborg losing weight. There are videos of, I remember Sean Porter straining to lose weight. Immense, immense. This is extreme, and he still didn't make the weight because that's what happens when you see that curtain go up. You know it's going to be a bad day because that means you got to go lose more weight. And when extreme weight loss situation, and I made sure that I was clear to the young man that I did that for, that I would never do that again. And it took me everything in my power to not totally turn him down, but he needed the opportunity. He had a bad experience with Antonio Margarita, who had cracked his orbital bone with plaster apparel during training. And people think that Antonio Margarita was violent in the ring. He was also violent during training camps. And so I just said, I'll do this. And when I did it, he was so weak. His performance was horrible, and it didn't pay off. Knowing how to do those kind of things, though, I knew what he needed to do. I knew how he needed to rehydrate after that weight cut, and I knew what he needed to do as far as protocol. So I connected with my people in the medical field and got him a real B12 shot. He was so depleted. His training camp, see, I didn't have anything to do with the training camp. So you need to really understand how they've been training. So literally, when you hear even Ryan Garcia saying, I had one grape, he would eat one grape and one protein shake when he cuts weight. If you go look at Fernando Vargas, he used to eat one egg and then drink cough syrup so he could sleep. Do you think that's the lifestyle you want to lead? You don't want to do that. That's not how you want to operate in your life. You don't want to say, this is the kind of professional I am. I'm having to live extreme. Daniel Jacobs was doing the exact same thing, and then he ran across Chris Algieri, who has a nutrition degree, a master's in nutrition. And see, I've been a nutritionist for like 20 years now, and I understand the importance of having that under my belt, and that's one of the main reasons I did it. And it was no joke. You have to pay to get educated. You have to commit. You have to go all in. And anything you do in this life, you have to go all in, or it will not bring much benefit, minimal benefit. And so when I learned that, if you go back and watch 24/7 or All Access with Daniel Jacobs, when he was about to fight, it wasn't the fight against Kid Chocolate. Kid Chocolate's my Bible study buddy. He's a good guy, very, very wise. Boxing did him well, and his spirit is in a great place. He's changing lives. He's helped me in a lot of ways. So special shouts out to Kid Chocolate. I love you, brother. And with that being said, when Chris Algieri got in Daniel Jacobs' lives, you can pull it up and they'll show it on YouTube. He said, I never ate breakfast on the weigh-in day. He's like, I never had 3 meals during training camp. It's just knowing how to feed the body. And a lot of you are not educated in that realm. So you got to make sure you got people who are educated. One of the things that you may appreciate me knowing that in our school, I had to make the coaches aware. Y'all want to avoid this conversation, but I tease the guys at times when I'm having conversations with them about weight loss, because we see weight loss isn't something that you play with. It's just something that if you don't talk about, it's not going to come up in conversation. And so how are you doing? Because I know the number that you need to be on when it comes down to how much weight you should be over. But I know how much weight that you should never have on your body during the camp, pre-camp, post-camp, lifestyle. That's why I say number 2 is lifestyle. 3 reasons why fighters lose fight. Everybody that hears me say that and they hear me break down why, they all say, you're right. There's only 3 reasons why fighters lose fights. Now, the reason why I say stop playing with this is because you can't get away with taking these diuretics and all of these, burners, because my guy, he'll tell you straight up, you will get banned. You will get a tag put on you like Lance Armstrong.
What you get in the WBC is a solid platform. We're always there for you. We will take care of you. We take care of the fighters. If you fight for the WBC, you have to submit specific medicals. You have to weigh yourself 30 days, 14 days, 7 days before the fight. You will be in a anti-doping program. We protect you because boxing, a boxer is a gladiator. If they were told to fight 50 rounds or 10-minute rounds or fight every week, they would do it because they are warriors. It is the WBC who needs to implement the rules, to look out for new processes, procedures, and rules to make boxing safer and better for the fighters and for the industry.
I love talking to Mauricio Suleiman and Jill Diamond Chastain, who's the vice president of the WBC. They are great people, and they do so much for the industry that you guys never get to see. And you may not realize, but the WBC and all of these sanctioning bodies are nonprofits. So that's why you have to pay the sanctioning body fees. And you got to think about it. It takes money to make money, and they offer a service. And that's one of the main reasons you see them putting hats on their people, because they're sponsoring you when you put that belt on you, and then you're sponsoring them back when you give them that money for that belt. And so it's a pitch and catch. No one should complain. You get to wear the most glamorous belt in the world. There is no belt above that. Visually, when you see the green belt, you think of that's the world champion. That's why people are after that belt. And that was a great conversation. And if you want to learn those kind of things, they're all in Champions University. I got another question that I'm gonna answer, and then I'm going to go to this next little clip that I want to show you guys that'll really give you great information. Do we have a weight cut program, TSOB? TSOB is for amateur boxing program, lower levels, right? When you get into the upper echelon of sport, you learn how to do weight cuts. I have conversations about it periodically anyway, but Coach's Corner is where you get the actual secretive stuff that you can't just get anywhere on the internet, at least all the way through. So in the Coach's Corner, it resides. Can you ask me tips? Yeah, but there's full out video on the process inside of the Coach's Corner. All right. So, or if you're in Champions University, you have access to weight cutting, the laws of the human body, those laws that you should abide by in order to prevent one of those 3 ways of losing fights, which is lifestyle. There's a real ABC breakdown, the elementary guide to cutting your weight, living the proper lifestyle, and making sure that you're stronger than you were in camp after the weigh-in, and you know how to rehydrate the proper manner, not like you hear. I want you all to realize this as well. This is something that people don't talk about, but coaches don't know how to hydrate the body. Coaches coach fighters. Trainers train athletes. Nutritionists know how to feed the body. Dietitians know how to rehydrate the body. Don't disrespect either one of those professions, because they're all its own thing. You can't be a coach and understand the profession of a dietitian. I'm from the medical field and sports performance. I've spent over 90,000 hours in just education. I was an apprentice for 15 years, and then I wrote 30 books. I've watched 100% of the coaches that I've been around pretend like they know all of this stuff. Even my own mentor was not right when he was doing those kind of things. But that's the method. Because you have a method does not mean you understand it. I understand it from a biological standpoint. I know human biology. I didn't just study movement, kinematics of human motion, kinesiology. I understand what happens internally from the mitochondrial level, the cellular level. Yes, I am that nerd. And I don't want you guys to think a lot of fighters are losing fights because of how they had to manage their nutrition during camp. That's a real story. That's true facts. I see it all the time. I see it all the time. I remember Diego Corrales. I got to kick it with Diego in Vegas when he was about to fight the most epic fight of his career, Casamayor, and that is the same time when he fought Castillo, which is the fight of in history in boxing. It's up there with Yvonne Durrell versus Archie Moore, and it's up there with Ali Frazier. And it ain't no questions. It's arguably the best. Pick your choice. Gotti Ward, Castillo, Corrales. Gotti Ward was a war. Castillo Corrales was skills, the most violent skills. So if you've never seen that fight, after you get done with this, go to YouTube. After you make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, and I'm telling you, you haven't seen a fight like that. And once you watch it, I want you to realize we got the entire punch chart, all knockout combinations for things for fights at that magnitude. Because when you get to a place where you get matched up with a guy who really knows how to fight, you need to know how to throw punches. And what you've been doing, I'm gonna just be honest, it ain't enough. It ain't gonna work. I used to think that I knew when I got in camps where guys were just on an entirely different level. The minute you see it, you know, but you don't get to see it because you don't get to go into camps where guys have won 17, 18 Pan Am games. You know, he got 19 medals on the wall and you ain't never heard of him, but you got to get in the ring against him. You ain't done that yet. When you do that, you realize you don't know anything about throwing combination punches. Because once you get into that heat and you realize, and I say it out loud to you guys all the time, there are levels to boxing and they don't start until you become a world champion. So how many of you are world champions? Nobody. You know what I'm saying? And even if you are a world champion, you know, it's coming. The fun don't start till you get the title. So there's that. Now we go back to this little session that was in this match that I spoke about with.
You tried to slow it down. That's not at their pace.
We're 4 weeks out now, getting those rounds in. Mount Charleston tomorrow. Honestly, the most motivated I've seen him for a camp, so I'm excited for April the 20th. I think it'll be a shocking performance for most.
Ooh. It's going to be a good fight, and I want you guys to, you know, put your predictions down, what you think might happen. I know we got 16 more days before the fight happens, but I think this thing is going to come into this next 10 days is going to be epic when it comes down to the promotion. And I'm going to play a little something from Mr. Garcia himself, King Ryan, that is. But I want you all to understand the different levels of when I said a minute ago that world champion level fighting is not the same And I'm going to let you hear from former champion Andre Durrell speak to a moment. Now, this is after the fact you walking around with a strap, but it lets you know that you continue to learn. You just continue to learn. So you do understand I'm only introducing you guys in conversations to the people that are at the top of the sport because see, they're telling you the truth. They're not media. They are the real individuals. So check it out.
And what I noticed probably by the third, fourth round is if I shoot my shots in between his punches, I'll be able to catch him with a big one and possibly hurt him. I'm just thinking about where I can create the most opportunity, right? And I remember saying to my coach on the outside, and Steve Farrington was getting on my nerve, honestly, because they were just like going against everything I was saying. But I was telling my coach, like, I got it. I see something, right? That's what I was saying. Like, I know I got it. I see it, right? They ain't see it. I saw it. And then the rest, what followed ensued, and I got to stop it. And that's what introduced me to a better version of myself, right?
Experience.
Sometimes you have to put yourself in the fight.
Sometimes you have to put yourself in the fire. When you discover something, when you've won Olympic medals and then you fought at the highest level against the baddest man, you've been in the Super Six against the greatest super middleweights, probably, arguably in history. Arthur Abraham, Andre Durrell, Alan Green got a chance to pop in. Like Saki Obika was infused in there to substitute fighter, but it was just one killer after the next. So it's no easy out. Carl Froch. Like it was just, you cannot, Mikhail Kessler. Like, I mean, it's no easy escape. Everybody is Jaws, so it's really crazy in Andre Durrell. And this conversation was really in depth, and it just continued to dig how much further you have to go once you become and stand on the mountaintop. It becomes real. It is so real. Like, you can't possibly imagine how much more you have to learn. When you get that title, that means you got to act like you don't have the title, because the guys who are seeing you are studying everything about you, and they're training as hard as they see you training in all your all access videos. When you're getting ready to fight for another pay-per-view fight, they're studying every ounce of your algorithm, and there's somebody bigger than you and there's somebody badder than you, and they're coming. So you always have to stay on your P's and Q's. And I do want you guys to realize that it's just so many different things that if you got it all in a book, this is why I understood, because after all of those experience working with guys like Hassam Rockman and, being in the kind of training camps that when you're in those training camps, when the sparring partners are hidden, the actual fighter that, you're working to improve, and you know that this guy's about to fight Klitschko, it's just different. No matter how you shed it. So after that, I made sure I wrote everything that I needed to document and get, and years and years and years of doing that and getting editing and printing and cementing it and knowing that it works, because this is the stuff that works. This thing has won championships, titles. It's been a part of some of the most illustrious boxing events that you've ever seen. It was little old me back there in these training camps working my asses off. And the reason why I say ass is plural is because I was maybe wearing 19 hats in there, because I was educated in every area: training, physical training, recovery, rehab, nutrition, sports science, every facet. When it comes down to advising, I was tactician. I know how to strategize inside of a fight. And that brings a lot of value to a camp when a fighter may not have answers for something that the opposition is really good at. So understanding how to take anything away from any fighter, no matter what it is, that's a good gift to be born with. And then understanding the sport so that we make sure that our guys understand that you can't stop learning from me or whoever's your mentor because they have so much more to tell you. You can only give it out in dosages, though, so you could understand how impactful it is once you start to get it into your muscle memory. Because remember, I said a minute ago that this game, it's not checkers. You're not going to learn it in a day. So take one skill and do it 1,000 times. Master it. Now let's hear from one of the other compadres in this thing.
King Ryan Garcia. I don't know how long you guys think it takes to make a post, but in my reality, it takes 10 seconds. I mean, if they're that dumb, like, I can't help you. You're gonna get it.
So what Ryan is alluding to is that they think I'm not working out. I know he's training. If I was his handler, which I've done that for a lot of people just as that role, people reach out to me to find roles for me because they understand that they need thorough people who have three eyes. And I have that third eye back there. I don't miss anything when it comes down to boxing because I just take it that serious. And I hope you do too. But what I acknowledge is that there is still that second life. You're 24, 25. You can get away with things. But when you're in there against a guy who has no bad habits and he's a pure boxer and a master craftsman, which makes him a master boxer, it's hard to have any vices. Hence is one of the main reasons Bernard Hopkins could say it best. He ran 12 miles a day. And when he did his miles, he ate real food and he shopped at Costco, even when he won his first $10 million purse from Oscar De La Hoya, who is now his business partner. A clean lifestyle, man. There's just no substitute for how you're living. And married to one woman, living a lifestyle of just really committed to it, it's going to show up. That's why he was able to be a champion till the age of 52 years old, because he lived a life. You can hate on guys like Floyd Mayweather, but he just didn't have vices that would impact him in the boxing ring. So that's why those who didn't like him didn't get a chance to see him really lose a fight. And if he wasn't living that life, you would have saw him lose fight after fight. Because fighting is hard. And no matter how much you know, you have to realize that one day it's going to catch up when you live in that other life. Those receipts are coming. And when you see that, you don't want to see athletes experience that. But what I will, refer back to is, living a life of understanding. What I do notice about a lot of individuals who are in the sporting world is that they don't really take things that are not inside of that world as serious as they take the sport itself. The sport itself and what you do outside of the sport is the exact same thing because it has a receipt. So unless you're out eating all grass and vegetables and drinking purified water and grounding, shoes off and doing yoga, meditating and living the life of just total experiencing the true earth. You will never understand when you're committed fully that if you don't commit fully, your span will be much shorter and it will be so many moments of devastation. Have you ever lost a fight? Have you ever lost a fight? Especially one that you thought you would win. Tell me how it felt that night. how it felt that next morning. We've lost to legends. I know what that felt like, but I knew we'd lose because these are camps that I wasn't in charge of. And I understand human anatomy. I understand the science of creating a strategy, taking away something somebody does great. And if I'm not the voice, then it's a coin flip. But that's my strong point. You tell me about any two fights, any two fighters about to go up inside of that ring, and I can tell you exactly what to do, and I can tell you him exactly how to do it so that he can do it in a way that he can hear it and receive it. And as many years as I've been in the coaching game, 4 decades, I haven't heard a person be able to do it that way. And I'm not the go to the corner and go to the fight guy. That's not who I am. My responsibility in boxing is different. I'm not here for one man to be in camp with him every day for 8 weeks or 10 weeks and just be married to that guy, his life, his everything. That's not who I am. I'm an abundant guy. Abundance is what my role is. You got to know your role. If you're that guy, be that guy. If you're, the Angelo Dundee, mean generational coach, then be that guy. But if you're someone who is an actual professor in the sport, which that's my role, I'm a professor. I write the books. I'm an author. I've done the physical part so long, and I understand this game from top to bottom. The politics, the business. If you're going to sell boxing, I know how you should sell boxing. You can. We also have made it very clear to the industry that if you're running the kind of boxing program that you want, but you want one that really can monetize and build and turn into a mogul, your facility can be the thing. You can buy master boxing licensing, because I know that if you do that, if you have our blueprint and our coaching, that you are going to crush it and you will make champions, because champions is about following a recipe. Following a recipe. So I want you all to not try to do this thing as checkers. And if you are in a position, we want to make sure that all of those individuals who are in this sport, and if you're watching and you're connected to investors, you make sure that you connect with those guys and tell them to connect with Master Boxing, Eric A. Bradley, because we have a lot of potential gym owners and current gym owners that need investing. And I said it the other night that we need to call these guys out, because those individuals will be using our business model, and our business model not only can crush it in the gym, but it's going to crush it online, because we've done millions online, and you're going to be the rock star for creating that connection. So if you got investors around you, make sure, because there's some good people who want to run a gym. There's some great people that want to get an experience in running a gym that actually works, and they want the blueprint, and we got the blueprint, and we know it'll work 1,000%. You can double down on it. They'll get their money back times 10x, and they'll want to invest in another one and another one. This is the franchisable kind of model. So, I always try to encourage you guys to think bigger, and I want to put things in front of you that you can think bigger. When you're going to open up a gym, you better understand there's a lot to go with it than just opening up a gym. Things that you don't understand. And we want to make sure that there's a gateway for young athletes, male and female, to get an opportunity, the parents of these people to get an opportunity to revitalize their lives again and get that chance to learn a little combat. And it's all about the experience. It's only a few people that are going to lace them up and fight, but there's a ton of people that are in your community that need someone who's an expert in an area of technique, boxing, cardiovascular, inertia, all of those things come with a boxing education. Not to mention, you're going to get a hell of system to train your people in. So these are the things that are important to us, though. And we encourage you to connect and let us know a little bit about you. What is it that you have going on? And why don't we know about you yet? If you're on the planet Earth and you do boxing, why don't we know about you? You know why I don't? Because you don't market good enough. You got to market enough because you know me, but I want to know you. Fighters, I want you to listen to this video and don't go anywhere until you watch it because you guys have the ability to do this. And you guys have the ability to do it now, not tomorrow, but now. But you guys are going to learn to turn your cameras on because if you get in control over your personal brand, no one's in control over your life. The same way no one's in control over The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. No one's in control over Sylvester Stallone's life. No one's in control over Michael B. Jordan. It's all about creating your personal brand. And do this, and this will happen to you. It happened to my boy Shane. Today and still winning the sport of boxing. Here are 3 things that we do with our clients. First, you got to learn who you're talking to. Number 2, messaging. Know exactly how to message. And number 3, your call to action. That's all you have to do. Here's what we do. We basically shoot a live stream, have our video editor edit it down into reels and put it out to the world. And what that does is it just attracts exactly who you're talking to. So when you're doing this process, it totally eliminates ad spend and it makes it so much easier for the entrepreneur to just blow up. This is real and it will never be this easy again. They just finally found a way to beat the Mayweather undefeated curse. Bing. Hats off to Shane for turning his social media around. You go over to his page, it's smoking now. And what we did is create that injection and showed, hey, this is, you start doing it like this and it's going to go crazy. And now when you see any fights, he's in the front row sitting with the guys, the De La Hoya and Bernard. He's just permeated. And so, you know, it's all making adjustments. Anybody that comes in contact with us, you're going to skyrocket. That's one thing's for sure. And because we commit to what we do, and you don't have to hear a bunch of people talking about what they're doing. We're doing it. And you can see we're consistently in the mesh doing things to bring the fight game and the fighters up, gym owners up, everybody in all of these organizations up. And so you also deserve to be up and you also deserve to be known. So why are you still the best kept secret? My suggestion to you is to make sure that you take a moment and you go and you press this. You type that in and then let me see what you're doing. And it's going to be me. Let me see exactly what you're doing because the game is too big and it's too wide open right now for people not to know about you because you're not going to be successful in boxing, especially now, if you don't do the thing right. Now, if you do it right, guess what happens? The lights get put on you. You get groomed on how to handle the lights. You get groomed on how to manage all of that new influx of your phone starting to look like this when when you see you scroll, that's messages from today. That's what happens when you visited just 5.7 million new accounts on Instagram. That's how it looks. So that's what your life will be like. And that's how your money will roll in. And that's what you're trying to do. If that's what you're trying to do, then that's what it'll look like when you do it the right way. Understand that real influential life is a real thing. And we don't just put out content. We content market. It's not the same thing. The people who are doing it at an expert level would never go back to the old way. So don't be that guy. Learn how to do it the right way. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, though. We wanted to make sure that you really took weight cuts and stuff like that serious, because we don't want to see you in that boat where you're going to be struggling or nearly killing yourself trying to do that. There's a different way, and it's 3 hots a day without having to suffer. And there's just methods that you will learn. You will understand boxing, and you will understand the business of it. You need to know you can't escape one without the other. So how about just becoming a master at both? And no one can ever be in control of your life again. That's you. That's all I got, man. I hope you guys enjoy yourself. I'm about to get out of here. Special shouts out to all my brothers in the School of Boxing. And I thought we were actually going to show you guys special shouts out to all the new members in the School of Boxing. If you're on a journey to get yourself to the next level, type the word school and change your life today. This is a different level. We are at the top of the food chain, and so should you be. And if you type school, you will be. Coach Bradley signing out. Be blessed until tomorrow.